Oh yeah, that is some old school tobacco. I'm here in Kentucky where Buick flew me down to test drive their complete line of new cars, including the LaCrosse, the Regal, and over here we have the new Buick Encore, which is the first time that I'm actually going to drive it. So coming up on the Fast Lane car, we're going to be talking and reviewing Buick. Stay tuned for that. Now, I wouldn't blame you if you were asking yourself, what is that strange car that Roman's standing next to? Well, let me give you a hint. If you were in Australia, this is the Holden Trax. Any bells? No? All right, how about this? In Europe, this is the Opel Mokka. No? All right, I'll tell you what it is. It's the brand new Buick Encore, and we're going to take it for a ride. To my eye, this car is a little top-heavy and perhaps a little overwrought. It does have the Buick DNA, and that means that there are things like fake hood louvers and, of course, the traditional Buick waterfall grille. Is it sexy? Really, that's in the eye of the beholder. I think it's a little bit frumpy. So under the hood of the Encore is a familiar engine. It's a 1.4-liter four-cylinder Ecotec that puts out 138 horsepower and 148 pound-foot of torque. Now, the reason it's familiar is because it's basically the same engine that you'll find in the Chevy Cruze. Now, in this particular application, it's paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission that can appropriate power to all four wheels. Let's talk about value for a second. You know, in Europe, it's very common to have premium small vehicles. In other words, you can have an Audi A3 that's relatively expensive. Here in America, we don't get expensive small cars. At least we haven't for a long time. That's changing, so Buick is kind of on the forefront of actually introducing premium small cars to the American market. Now, this car costs $28,000, and that's a lot for what is essentially a very small crossover, but at the same time you do get a lot of features. You get the Buick name, and if you're into Buicks, that's valuable. You get nice leather, you get kind of a cool two-tone interior, you get a ton of safety features, and you get something that your neighbors will be very very confused by. No, they won't be confused. They'll certainly be scratching their heads because they won't know what this is. Yes, it's an Encore, and it's a premium small car. Deal with it. Inside, it's pretty tight. It's a small car, but the back seats do fold down flat, as does this passenger seat. So if you have something that's bigger than the car, you can configure it in a way that makes it work. The interior is a little bit, well, complicated. There are way too many buttons here. It doesn't quite yet have that new Buick design that's in the LaCrosse and in the Regal. Like I said, it's pretty tight in here, but let me show you. I think that Nathan would fit in here, just barely, but one of the cool features of the Encore is this cargo cover. Usually you take these things off and you don't know what to do with them, but here it slides down so that it's out of the way and it's not flopping around your garage getting walked over by the dog. Now, in terms of competition, there isn't a heck of a lot. It kind of slots above a titanium Ford Escape and maybe below a BMW X1. The particular Encore that we get in America is made in Korea. Now, of course, the question that we want to know is, well, let's see how fast it goes from 0 to 60. All right, gang, 0 to 60. I have the air conditioning turned off and I'm boiling hot, but the Solo DL is set up, so I'm just going to floor it and see how fast the Encore will go to 60. Here we go. Straight road ahead of me. A little bit of lag there. Not that there's a turbo, it just takes a little bit of time to get up to speed. Here's 40, and here comes 50, and here comes 60 right there. Oh my. We're in Kentucky, so we are at sea level, pretty much. 11.14. Yeah, there's something to be said for driving a kind of a top-heavy, small crossover into the wind. It's not the fastest crossover in the world. The BMW X1 would well, rip it a new one, you know that. But then again, this is a suburban kind of people hauler, stuff hauler, and it's never going to be a dragster, so it's fine. Buick flew me down here to test drive their full range of cars, and I've been behind the wheel of the Encore for about 10 minutes, and that's not fair to give it a complete buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it rating. So we'll have to wait till we get it to Colorado to have a complete TFL review. As always, this is Roman saying thanks for watching. See you next time. And of course, there's a guy cutting the grass. There's always something, ladies and gentlemen.